Carlito is back, the king of Caribbean cool, or the man who spits in the face of anybody who isn't cool, made his triumphant return to WWE in a six-man tag team match at the Fastlane Premium Live Event 2023, helping out the LWO in a victory over Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. Fans of the ruthless aggression era are thrilled, and newer Gen Z fans better learn to love it quickly or they're going to have their back cracked. Oh, the internet gets their tweezers out and complained about it being too predictable and why did he appear so late in the match? But then they all shut up when the crowd in Indianapolis went crazy when Carlito hit the ring to a massive reaction that followed intense speculation over the last 24 hours before the event when LWO was down a few good men coming out of SmackDown, where Lashley, Ford, and Dawkins put a beat down on Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza, who were injured, and that just left Santos Escobar and Rey Mysterio with Zelina Vega at their side. If they were down one man, who was going to step in? Rey Mysterio said he simply had to make a phone call, and then the internet easily predicted who it would be. And predictability in this case is not a bad thing. Carlito, who we last saw in WWE at the Backlash event in his native Puerto Rico, took the revived return to WWE, which appears to be a full-time deal now, in good stride, even taking a photo backstage with John Cena, who's been making a temporary return to the company. Yes, the man he defeated in his WWE debut back in the day to become a United States champion, the man he stabbed a week after that in a nightclub. But hey, bygones be bygones, huh? So what can you expect to see for Carlito now that he's back with WWE as a full-time star after a 13-year absence from the company? Months back in Puerto Rico at the Backlash event, when Carlito came out to a massive surprise response, there was much reporting about him signing some kind of deal with the company, with the holdup being some type of undefined creative plan. For a start, two things seem perfectly clear. He will be on SmackDown, and number two, he will be a part of the LWO, the Latin World Order. He's a perfect fit for the group, and that is still making a name for the younger superstars in its collective, most likely Santos Escobar, Joaquin Wilde, and Raul Mendoza, along with Zelina Vega, under the much bigger star power of Rey Mysterio, a Hall of Famer who's the face of the group. But where does Carlito fit into all of that? He may not rank higher than Mysterio, but you can't say that he's on the pecking order at the bottom. There just might be a ceiling put over him, and if he's okay with it, there's nothing wrong with that. You're not wrestling nowhere, you're wrestling in WWE. It's not hard to argue that he could be doing more. Hopefully it isn't a Shelton Benjamin kind of role where his star power is really used to elevate younger superstars and create momentarily strong matches within the mid-card. But once again, this is WWE. You could be wrestling in obscurity, or you could be wrestling in WWE. In WWE, that's always possible, since the company is constantly looking to find the next big young star. A 44-year-old Carlito may not be the top priority, but he may be the one to make that next big star into the next big star. And maybe this is just the gray in my millennial beard talking, but putting age as a restricting factor to any pro wrestler just seems like a really short-sighted observation. Yeah, because he's 44, he can't be a big star? Knock that off, because big superstars are still doing big things north of 40. Look at Bobby Lashley and Chris Jericho. Age is not the burden it once was in WWE. And just look at Carlito. He's in better shape than the last time we saw him actively in WWE television. But if you look at his history with Carlito, his 6-year run in WWE, it was capped at being an intercontinental and US title level superstar. Never anything really above that. But once again, you're all of those things in WWE, not anywhere else. And if you look at the fact that some of the ruthless aggression and early PG era top stars are also now getting a revived sense of interest from lapsed fans hopping back into WWE, yeah, you're seeing some people that used to have John Cena, Randy Orton, Edge, and Batista t-shirts wearing those again. It's not hard to see why he couldn't reach that same sense of revived energy. The main event scene in WWE is arguably even more competitive today than maybe it was in Carlito's first run. But that isn't to say that Carlito was necessarily expecting a main event push when he signed with WWE this time around. He's nearing 24 years as a veteran of the pro wrestling game and a second-generation superstar following his father, WWE Hall of Famer Carlos Colon. His time on screen is prolific, and being a main eventer is something that maybe he doesn't need to achieve. It goes without saying that Carlito has learned a lot before the people that came before him and those that he's performed with throughout his time in and out of WWE that can help transition into maybe a new role as a mentor, possibly even a backstage producer or coach for WWE. But that's just surface level speculation. It's worth noting Carlito has never publicly explicitly stated his intention to work in any backstage role with WWE, and there's also a good chance that he wants to make good money in the last few years of his career and then return to Puerto Rico without caring much about how he's booked. Maybe this is just a swan song for the apple-spitting superstar, and there's nothing wrong with that. It would actually be pretty cool. See what we did there? The fact of the matter is, it's really hard to tell exactly what Carlito's future could be, especially with WWE having a tremendous level of depth in their mid-card ranks right now. We heard a lot about Endeavor's cost-saving measures that involved a bunch of releases, both on-screen and off. But WWE seems to be making selective signings simultaneously, with the names of Nia Jax, Jade Cargill being brought in from AEW being two examples, Carlito being a third, and Kairi Sane possibly being a fourth. WWE does not mind bringing in talent even if they're letting some talent go. Even if Carlito's run doesn't last beyond a single contract or is just a short little thing, it's just something you can enjoy while you can, because there isn't anybody cooler than signing with WWE than him right now. Wow, we really did that cool thing. What's the coolest memory you have of Carlito? Let us know in the comments below and tell us what you think his wrestling future should be. Also, check out these other videos from Sportskeeda Wrestling.